It's time for Brace for Impact, and a pleasant good evening to you. I am your host, Mike Gilbert, and I'm joined as always by JD by God Oliva. How you doing, JD?
Solid, man. Solid.
Yeah. Just hopefully everybody caught my little tribute to Vin Scully there. Rest in peace, Vin Scully, one of my lifelong heroes and idols. He just passed away this week. So think about switching up the intro, man, because forever my intro was "Hey Now," which is kind of like a old Howard Stern tribute from the '90s. But I don't know, man. We'll see if it's time for Brace for Impact kicks on. But I always love the way he introed the Dodger games.
I never listened to a Dodger game, not being from California, so I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, yeah. No, he was the greatest. He also did a lot of he did so many World Series, he did so many Super
Mhm.
Bowls, he did golf, he did everything, man. But always will be remembered for the Dodgers and all the great moments that he had with the Dodgers. But hey man, how's your week going? How's everything been happening?
Not bad. Week two of this Kickstarter, 260% funded. More backers at this point than I've ever had before. So I said that today I put on my page that if we get to 100, I never had 100. If I get to 100 backers this time, I'll write another free book that everybody will get. So
Ooh,
hopefully we get that. We're at 73 right now. So we
nice.
got a week. I think that's pretty good. I think it's pretty good odds. So that's what's dominating. Waiting to hear back on the new job so far. So knock on wood, talk more about that when everything gets official. Rewriting the new book, the one I was telling you about, I'll talk
Right.
about later. I think it's pretty damn good, to be honest with you. I'm pretty happy with it
Cool.
so far.
Yeah, I'm excited with that one, man. The new book.
That one's going to be cool. I think the
Yeah.
people listening to this show and people listening to all wrestling shows will be hopefully interested in that when I can talk more about it.
Absolutely. Well, I did a stupid thing today.
What's
Well,
up?
actually, it started a couple weeks ago. But today was the official first day of school. I'm starting my
Wow.
MBA.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm
okay.
starting my MBA. Yeah.
Congrats.
No, it sucks. I don't want my MBA, but I'm getting
Do
it
you
anyway.
well, do
So
you have to get your MBA? Is it like required or are you choosing to?
I'm choosing to. Yeah.
Well, then congrats.
It
Quit being
was.
a bitch.
I know. I'm not a school person, and it was one of those things where I got my GI Bill in the military, but I joined the military so I didn't have to go to school anymore. I was like, I could still have a decent job without going to school. Well, they trick you because if you want to get promoted, you need to go to school. And they sent my records up to all like the higher ranking people in my career field, right? And there was two things. There was only two things they said I could improve on. And the first thing they said I could improve on was get your master's degree. And I'm like, you guys were telling me for years to get my bachelor's, and I finally did it, but that's not good enough. Now you want me to get my master's degree. What's going on here? But I guess the higher ranking you get, the more qualified they want you to be. So I'm getting a master's of or an MBA in leadership. So I'll be a bona fide leader here pretty soon.
A master of leadership.
Yeah. Well, I'm
Shit.
a
I forgot to
ah,
finish that.
yeah, I am a master sergeant, so I guess I need a master's degree and maybe impact. I don't know if they mastered the art of pro wrestling tonight with their episode. It was a kind of an up and down episode for me. What did you think of the show tonight?
Going to be honest, I
Yeah, be
nodded
honest.
I nodded out to 15 minutes in, and then I slept for
Yeah,
about 3 or 4 minutes, or maybe more, and I had to go back and rewatch some stuff. I thought it was until the main event, kind of ho hum. Not bad,
yeah,
but just kind of there.
yeah. That's nothing seems important.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I felt on the show. But the main event, when we'll get to that, I thought was great, great, great fun. Just a really good, fun match. I think everything that PCO does is awesome. I can't complain about PCO, but we'll go ahead and get into the show. I know we did a little bit of a spoiler, but the BTI pre-show match was Alicia taking on Savannah Evans. Um, and it must have been a very good match because Josiah, our buddy who co-hosted this show one week, didn't even put who won. So I'm guessing Savannah Evans won though, because Alicia never wins, nor should she.
Nor should she ever win.
Yeah.
That's your BTI talk. We don't
Yeah.
care.
Nobody cares about BTI.
No.
Anyway, Impact opened with a video showing Heath attacking Honor No More and showing us how they ended up in a match against Bullet Club at Emergence, with Honor No More needing to disband and leave Impact if they lose, but getting a tag team title shot if they win. So the first match was Deonna Purrazzo defeating Rosemary with Taya Valkyrie. We had a little distraction roll up. At one point, Deonna Purrazzo, so Jessica was on the outside, And Deanna walks up to Jessica and says, "You're not invited to the party," which pissed off Jessica. And she distracted Rosemary, and we got a roll up for the win. So that was that match.
So we keep talking about how Triple H is the great savior of professional wrestling, right? Is Impact going to be the home of the stupid distraction finish now?
Well, maybe if Triple H gets rid of it from WWE, yeah, maybe they'll take it over. Because we got the first match of the night was a distraction roll up for a finish, and so was the second match of the night. So
there's a certain professional wrestler who likes to comment on why things don't make sense in other promotions, and I hope that he can point this out to his bosses when it happens in his own promotion. He won't, but I hope he will.
Yeah, he just wants to put matches together. He doesn't care if 2 matches back to back with the same finish is not a good idea.
But if it happened in another promotion, he'd be the first one to point it out, and they have a billion followers that's go, yeah, that's right, that's bad, yeah, that's right. So
yeah, but it's not a good idea to bury your own company while you're on the radio. Not smart.
You could tell them, like,
maybe
hey, bad idea.
To his credit, maybe he does, and maybe they don't listen. I think that's very possible.
I think it's very possible that they're not listening to people telling them better ideas. Yes, I will agree with that.
Yeah. So anyway, what'd you think of the match? Despite the weak finish here, yeah, it was fine.
It's fine. I mean, Rosemary's shtick, right? More than talent, I don't say talent, than performance. So it's fine. Deanna carries her to a decent match whenever they wrestle. It's fine with whatever.
Yeah. Josiah says it's an acceptable match, nothing special, but perfectly fine. I have to agree.
Perfectly fine might be a little bold. I think it's fine. I don't know about perfectly fine.
Right. A little strong. Honor No More was backstage, and Matt Taven was talking about their goal for the pay-per-view at Emergence. And Eddie Edwards said that it required trust, and he wasn't sure if he could trust PCO. Vincent said that PCO went through everything with them, and that he could be trusted. Edwards said that PCO had to prove himself tonight by going after Doc Gallows.
Haven't we heard this before? Like, I swear to God, we've done this exact same segment like 2 or 3 times.
They did this heading into Slammiversary in that match where Eddie Edwards didn't trust PCO. He proved to be trustworthy, and I think at one point they were going to turn him, and then they just kind of stalled on it, and I think they're picking up the turn again. So I don't know.
I'm not crazy. We've had this like exact same segment before, right?
Yeah, no, like literally this exact same thing happened heading into Slammiversary.
It was weird.
They're hoping that nobody remembers that.
I thought I was like tripping or something. I'm like, I swear to God, I've heard this exact same entire segment before. So here we are again.
Here we go again. So yeah, he has to prove himself tonight by going after Doc Gallows. Yeah, I mean, it was a good interview segment. I thought Taven was really strong. I thought Eddie Edwards was pretty strong. So
they're fine.
But yeah,
this was perfectly fine.
Yeah, there you go. Giselle Shaw was backstage talking about the death warrant received from Masha Slamovich. Death Warrant, a good movie starring Jean-Claude Van Damme. At least I like it. I don't know. Do you think that movie still holds up? Because some of those Van Damme.
Which one was Death Warrant? Refresh my memory.
It's the one where he goes to prison, and they have like a hit out for him in prison. I'm thinking.
Is that
if
one?
I remember correctly? I think that's that one. Yeah, it wasn't like. Because he had like Lionheart and he had Bloodsport and Kickboxer.
Those are easily rememberable.
This one came a couple years later, like towards the mid '90s.
Yeah, his mid '90s stuff after Hard Target starts getting like real similar, except for the hockey one. Like, but a lot of them like bleed together for me. So I don't remember this. I mean, like as far as like corny '90s action movies go, I think those are all okay, right?
Death Warrant JCVD. Hold on, I'm looking it up right now.
Yeah,
this is far more important than Giselle Shaw's interview, by the way. Yeah, yes. Death Warrant. Let me see. A Maverick detective goes undercover in a prison. See, I know stuff. To find out why so many prisoners are dying there. He discovers it's all part of a highly organized, lucrative trade in human organs. And once his cover is blown, it looks as though he is next for the chop. That sounds like an awesome freaking plot, actually. It's much better than I had remembered.
It really does. I'm like, oh, black market organs? I don't remember that. Yeah.
Sounds like a book written by J.D. Oliva. Just if they had
I
like,
may have stolen something similar to that, actually. You know something
yeah.
interesting? Because Prey comes out on Hulu tomorrow. I hope we all make time to see Prey, the next Predator movie. Looks
Oh,
awesome.
okay, okay.
Are you familiar with this? Are you familiar with
I I
Prey?
I am familiar with Predator. I'm not familiar with
Oh,
Prey, and I
it's
no longer have Hulu. So
okay. So you have to like
yeah.
procure this. It's the
Oh yeah.
next
No.
Predator movie. Like it looks like
Okay.
um some like natives again in like the jungle against the
Oh
Predator. It looks quite cool. The
wow.
original Predator. Do you know who's supposed to play him, right? The original, like the guy they first casted to be the Predator.
Well, I know Jesse Ventura was in it. Was it
He's in
Jesse?
it. No,
Yeah.
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Oh, so it was supposed to be him instead of Schwarzenegger.
No. He was supposed to be the Predator.
Oh, the Predator. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
he was supposed to be the guy under the mask. They hired him. This was gonna be his first big role in the US because he could do all the martial arts and stuff like that.
Right.
And then, shockingly enough, JCVD, a little bit of a prima donna,
Oh yeah.
didn't like all the accoutrement he had to wear, and it did not work out.
Hmm. Well, that's very interesting. Giselle Shaw was backstage talking about the death warrant received from Masha
Un-
Slamovich.
Unlike this.
Go. Yeah, I thought Giselle Shaw was pretty strong here, man. So I really dug what she was doing here.
Yeah, she's talented.
Yeah,
She's I quite appreciated this entire segment. I thought it was fine. It's pretty good.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Next we go to Brian Myers. He defeated Black Taurus because if you need to get a win, you gotta wrestle a luchador in Impact.
Man,
Um,
if you're Mexican in Impact, you are gonna lose. Like
yeah,
this may
I
okay, hold on. The match that everyone talked about from the Ric Flair thing was the four-way lucha match, right? And Black Taurus saved Bandito's life. Did you see that?
oh my god, insane! It was
Bandito
beautiful. Yeah,
almost died, but Black Taurus is in fact the best base in wrestling. The man can catch anyone. And it was awesome. Like it just again, I didn't watch the whole thing, but I did
yeah,
get my hands on the lucha match. It was absolutely fantastic. So of course, what are we doing? Impact. We're having him lose to Brian Myers. I don't
yeah.
I don't get it. I absolutely
So
don't get it.
Meltzer doesn't talk Impact, but he addressed why the luchadors aren't getting pushed in Impact. He says it's as simple as they don't speak English and they have to tell stories doing promos. And I'm like, you can get around that if you're good at what you do. You can get around that if your job is to produce wrestling and to push wrestlers, you can get around the language barrier by being better at your job and helping them. There's translators. You can do subtitles and backstage interviews. Pentagon can't speak a lick of English. You just tell him 5 words, he can do it, and then he just says some shit in Spanish, and it's awesome.
Dude's
Like, get
over as
behind these
hell.
guys.
Yes.
Yeah.
That gets ridiculous to me. Like, I'll be honest with you, it's not like this is a promotion full of great promos, right? It's not.
No.
There's not a lot of great promos in this promotion. Our champion's not the best promo in the world. Let's be frank about this, right? Josh is a good wrestler. He's not a great promo. He's fine.
He's
Great wrestler.
he's had some great promos, but he's not consistently a great
I
promo.
wouldn't call him
So
a great promo guy.
some of the stuff heading into the Moose match I was quite
There
fond
was
of,
some
but
there
I
was
have
some
not
good
heard much since then.
there was some good stuff, but I wouldn't call him a good promo. The fact that we can't push these luchadors because they speak Spanish is so 1990s. I feel like Vince
Mhm.
Russo is back running the company again. This is freaking ridiculous. Like,
Yeah.
it's not like we have these great. I mean, I compare it to the Muppet Show every week because it's stupid. A lot of the backstage stuff we do, like, and the fact that that's an excuse for not being able to push luchadors is insanity to me. Like it's insulting. And Crazy Steve's right there. Crazy Steve could do it.
Yeah. Yeah. There's no reason why Crazy Steve and Black Taurus can be pushed as a top tag team in this company. They're very good.
Yes.
They are.
I don't understand. They're both very good wrestlers, and the act is
Yeah.
it's over with the Impact fans, but I mean, like, it's to an extent because like they never win.
No.
Right? I don't get it, man. I don't understand why we're not pushing talented people. Like, I know the DMC is a joke title, right? I know Brian Myers is a joke guy, but then you go and here's what gets me even better. Continue the story. Do the follow up.
Yes. So Myers stomped on Taurus in the corner, went for a back body drop, but Taurus corkscrewed over the back of Myers and hit some shoulder tackles before hitting a drop kick, sending Myers to the floor. When they came back, Myers had a chin lock, of course, as he drove Taurus into the ring post during the break. Myers hit a back suplex for a 2 count. Myers charged the corner, but Taurus hit a drop kick to the knee before hitting a tiger feint kick on Myers and missed a drop kick for a 2 count. Myers got up, hit an enziguri. And an implant DDT for a 2 count. Oh man, I didn't realize where I was at in this thing. Sorry. Myers tried to charge Taurus again, but ate a spear for his efforts for a 2 count. Eventually, Myers dug into the eyes of Taurus's mask and rolled him up while holding the ropes right in front of the referee, buried the ref completely. Rule update: submissions in the ropes illegal, eating faces and holding the ropes for leverage perfectly legal, according to our friend Josiah. And then after the match, Bhupinder Gujar came out and speared Myers, making his claim for digital media championship match yet again. I know what you're going to say. Go ahead and say it.
Why are we pushing Bhupinder Gujar over Black Taurus? Like, what is what? And what planet is Bhupinder Gujar better than Black Taurus? I don't understand this.
Talk
Like,
about not being able to cut promos. Right?
he does speak good English, and he's a terrible promo. Like,
I-
I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it.
The only reason is, look, and this is not racist by me. This is just an observation of what they are doing in this company. They lost Hakeem Zayn, right? Or I guess, gosh, what the hell is his name in Impact?
Rahit
Hakeem
Raju.
Zayn. They lost Rahit Raju. They lose him is a strong word. They did not re-sign Rahit Raju. And they needed another guy from India to fill that void, so they brought in Bhupinder Gujar. And now they're pushing him. Now they're getting behind him and Raj Singh. That's what they're
Rahit
doing.
Raju is a good promo.
Yes, Rahit
Very-
Raju could promo circles around most people in this fucking company.
Absolutely. He
Yeah.
could promo around circles around most people in professional wrestling, quite frankly.
Yes.
One of pro wrestling's most underutilized talents. That's a conversation for another day. But we're pushing because we have the India thing, right? Big in
Yeah.
India. I don't understand. I don't get it.
That
You got Black Taurus doing jobs to Brian Myers, and Bhupinder Gujar's probably going to be the guy to take this stupid title off of him. Again, it's a meaningless belt, but goddamn, this is just dumb. It's just dumb because you have access to 3 of these guys. If Bandito comes in and they treat Bandito the way they treat every other luchador in this company, it's going to be a sin against nature.
Yeah, and I see it coming, and I've
too.
been on like everybody's like, yeah, we want to see Bandito in Impact. I really don't, because I don't think they're going to treat the guy right. I think he's too good. I think he's too good to be here because they're going to have him jobbing his ass out to fucking Brian Myers in no time. And you know, and if they bring him in, I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think I will be because I just know this company.
We never are, right?
So the last time they pushed luchadors, it was Penta and Phoenix. It was Penta and Phoenix. Penta won the world title, and then Penta and Phoenix were the tag champions. They were main event. But you know what? When they came into Impact, they had big names. They were big stars in the indie scene, and they could draw money, right? Okay, Taurus and Laredo Kid, they don't exactly have that. Well, so build them up. They got the talent, right? They may not have the charisma that Penta has, but they got the talent.
Few do, right? Like Penta's charisma is off the charts. I don't know if, like, I wouldn't say either of those guys is necessarily less charismatic than Phoenix, but Phoenix is, the second coming of Rey Mysterio. So again, different. And you're right. We don't really build guys, right? We just kind of take guys that are built in a lot of cases. Alexander being an exception. That proves the rule, quite frankly.
Yeah.
It just, I don't know, especially when a main event scene is so thin. And the main event scene is thin right now.
Oh yeah.
What? I don't know, man. I'm frustrated.
Yeah, me too. Jordan Grace was backstage, talked about how Mia Yim would have significant trouble when challenging for the Knockouts Championship. Okay. So cool. That was that. Big thumbs up. Okay. A video aired from Ric Flair's last match.
Did she quote her ranking in the PWI 500 while discussing this?
No, she did not. Maybe she should have. Had this not been recorded weeks ago, that they might have been able to work that in there. But
can you believe we missed that opportunity? We didn't know we were recording when that story broke, and such great material, and we would have had so much.
We would have had so much fun, and
now the joke is
passed us by. Yeah, it's passed us by. We can't go back to it. A video aired from Ric Flair's last match showing how Matt Cardona and Brian Myers ruined the match between Josh Alexander and Jacob Fatu, ending with Diamond Dallas Page hitting the Diamond Cutter on Cardona. I did not watch the match with Alexander and Fatu, basically because I knew it was a bullshit finish, kind of a chicken shit finish by MLW and Impact. Look, if you were going to do that, just don't do the match.
That's old school, man. That's what they used to do back in the 70s and the early 80s when two champs like Backlund and Harley Race. Did we get
or
Backlund Flair?
it
We might
was
have gotten
it was
Backlund Flair.
I think it was Backlund and Flair in Japan. They did the match, and I think they did one in the States too.
Backlund and Martel, or no, I'm sorry, Flair and Martel too. Like it
Yeah,
was always that screwy finish. It's chicken shit stuff. Again, like no one's gonna make a decision, and you at least you did it with the right guys. Like no one's gonna cheer Cardona and Myers and Mark
right.
Sterling. Like
Yeah.
side note, DDP looks amazing at 66.
Bro, he is insane, man. If anybody needs to do a big last match pay-per-view, it's him at 70. And he's
For
almost 70.
real,
He's getting there. Yeah.
66. Like
Yeah.
he's only like what 6 years younger than Flair, and like, Fla yeah, we all saw Flair. But then you look
Yeah.
at Dallas Page, and you're like, oh my god, like you look fantastic. Like,
Yeah.
hey, who would have thought that the Ric Flair undercard would have made such a big dent in professional wrestling this week? Mance Warner's doing AEW stuff because he won the bunkhouse thing. Like,
That's
who
weird.
knew? Isn't
Yeah.
it? And they cited
I
that as the reason he's going to wrestle Moxley this week.
Yeah, and who knew that AEW would even acknowledge the pay-per-view on their show, which I figured they were going to stay away from it because I thought at one point Ric Flair was canceled, but he got
Oh, we got
uncanceled.
uncanceled. We can't
He
cancel
did.
Ric Flair. I'm sorry, some people might get mad hearing me say this, but Ric Flair is one of, and again, what he did was heinous. I'm not saying
Yes.
that, but
What hold on, what he was accused of?
accused
Heinous.
of
Sorry.
doing,
Go.
which he
Yeah.
did not deny doing. Well, yeah, we'll leave that alone.
Yes.
But he has accrued so much goodwill throughout those 30 years that, fair or not, justified or unjustified, the man's always going to be Ric Flair.
Yep. And people just like to watch him.
Yep.
Yep.
It makes people care. One of the most successful independent shows in history.
Yes, yes. I think well, the Observer hasn't hit yet, so it'll hit after we're done talking here. But he's got all the numbers, man, and so
Curious.
I'm seeing I've seen anywhere from 3,000 to 6,000 people. I'm guessing it's somewhere in the middle there that
Attendance
attended
or
that show. Attendance, and then as far as pay-per-view buys,
yeah,
I
what are
mean
the
probably
buys
quite a
are?
bit. Yeah,
I think all out.
probably above way above Impact, and probably below Ring of Honor from this past week.
What I think all in 18 drew 35,000 pay-per-view buys. I'm very
Yeah,
curious to see if it's above or below because I think that's kind of the barometer for successful in true indie shows. So I'm really curious to
right.
see where they finish on that. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Slamovich defeated Giselle Shaw. I really liked this.
Yeah, it was a good match.
So they are starting to show how talent can actually get to Masha. She showed like some
Mhm.
slight weakness here
She
with
she
Giselle
worked.
hitting the knee. She
Yeah,
worked,
it
yeah.
worked.
And they made and Tom Hannafin. I'm going to say something controversial. Are you ready for this one? Maybe
Rocket.
this is a good brace for debate topic. I think Tom Hannafin's the best in the biz right now. I listen to everybody. I've never been a fan of Excalibur. I think he just overdoes it for me. I think he just comes across as not very sincere. My opinion. I think Tom Hannafin is probably the best play-by-play guy in the business right now. I actually I like him above Kevin Kelly now. Just that's just for my taste.
I like Tom Hannafin. It's funny, he just tweeted out his passion is back for wrestling. And you can really
Yeah.
see it because I mean Tom Phillips sucked. When he was in
Yes.
NXT, I liked his stuff. I
Right.
think he was in NXT. And then I
He
think,
was.
yeah, that's what I thought. But I didn't like him in WWE because who's likable in the old WWE system.
Yeah.
I like Tom Hannafin a lot, but I'm gonna go with Ian Riccoboni.
Okay.
That's my
Man,
favorite.
okay. Yeah. No, I like him too. I just think that
Hannafin's
I
good
think
though.
I think I would put Hannafin above him right now. I just been enjoying his work so much.
He's been
And
great.
maybe it's because we were subjected to Josh Matthews and Matt Stryker for years, but
Okay.
I do think he's tremendous though.
I don't want to bear. I don't want to. I'll jump this right now. When we
Yeah.
got the Impact flashback with Mia Yim, FKA Jade, and Madison Rain and Gail, and we had Borash and Josh Matthews on commentary back in 2016. Holy crap, was that terrible?
It
And
was bad.
Borash is a jack of all trades, but I always thought commentary was the weakest of his skills.
Yeah.
And Josh is Josh, right?
Hmm.
Together they were not good.
Not
And
good.
Hannafin and I can never remember Aiden English's name.
Raywalt.
What's his
Matthew
Raywalt? I
Raywalt.
can never remember that. They're a great duo. They really are. Like
Yep.
they really over the last year, the two of them have so elevated Impact's production. Like
Mhm.
I think it's why one reason why we're having so many good matches is because those two are so good on the call. I really do.
Yeah. Yep, absolutely. Yeah, we got the flashback moment of the week. Consisted of Gail Kim and then Jade facing Gail Kim facing Mia Yim and Madison Rain. So there you go. And then Yim was backstage with Jim Miller and talked about how Jordan Grace was not taking their match seriously enough. Madison Rain came up to the set and was upset about the video highlight that aired. Gail Kim walked in and made a match for next week for Yim and Madison Rain. AEW's Madison Rain walking through the forbidden door here on Impact.
Backwards to the forbidden door. I'm not gonna lie, I was disappointed that she's not wearing the mask anymore because I thought she absolutely rocked that look. I don't know why. I
She
don't know
did.
what is
Yeah.
wrong with me, but it is what it is. This is fine. I mean, this is honest to God. Okay, so I'll save it for the Patreon actually.
Yeah, Patreon. She's like a not top story, second to the top. Second to the top story. So yeah, we'll talk about Madison Rain and AEW on Patreon. Rosemary was yelling at Jessica backstage, but Taya noted that Jessica was basically a baby being reborn from the dark realm. The sucked, according to Josiah. I Jessica keeps making me laugh, and I don't know why, and I'm not proud of it. So they at least have that going for me. For them.
I'm gonna side with my Canadian brethren on this one. This was stupid.
Yeah. Oh, hold on. Someone's calling in really quick. Hold on.
We have a call.
Sorry. We have a call. Hold on.
Everything I hate about professional wrestling. Everything I hate about wrestling is summed up into this one. And it doesn't matter if it's men or women, dogs, it does not matter. This is everything wrong with modern professional wrestling summed up right here.
Oh, yep. Salty JD from the past called in. Sorry. Your previous self with more hair.
Look how long my hair was. Jeez, I forgot it was that long. You get the problem is we recorded it on Zoom, so it looks like ass.
Yeah,
like you bring up, I'm like, oh, that's terrible. Zoom blows. Like,
yeah. That was sorry. JD called in from the past. I like it.
I love, by the way, that's a new thing that we can use from now on. I'm really big fan of that. I really love when you put that in, when you use that as a Twitter response to things.
Yeah.
I appreciate you trying to make me a GIF. Like, it's one of the greatest things that's ever happened. So thank you.
Finally, we get to a pretty good match, I thought. The Motor City Machine Guns. Sorry, Motor City Machine Guns defeating Violent by Design of Doring and Diener. I thought this was a pretty strong match. Doring and Diener. Hold on just a sec. Shelly tagged in Sabin, who drop kicked Doring off the apron and hit a running Enzigiri to Diener. Shelly and Sabin hit the Magic Killer on Diener, but Doring broke up for the pinfall. Doring hit a shoulder tackle on Shelly, and the referee tried to get him out of the ring. Motor City Machine Guns hit a double drop kick on Doring. He shrugged it off, hit a double clothesline on both Sabin and Shelly. They got up fast, hit a suicide dive on Doring before Shelly put Diener in the crucifix pin, which Sabin ran over and turned it into a jackknife pin for the 3 count, which I thought was a very cool ending. Good match. Doring and Diener attacked after the bell, but Kushita's music hit, and he ran down to make the save as he was attacking Doring. That poor little guy was trying to get Doring in a hoverboard lock, and that was not going to work. But Eric Young ran out and attacked the Kushida, and it turns out Violent by Design is as strong as ever. They can't win matches, but they can attack people afterwards.
Yes, all that happened. I love the pairing of Kushida and the Motor City Machine Guns, the Motor City Time Splitters. It makes perfect sense. Big fan.
Mm-hmm.
Big fan.
Absolutely.
This was probably my favorite segment of the show as far as just a wrestling match goes. Like, man, everybody was really good in this. This was great.
Yeah. I think maybe they should have opened with this one because I thought they started off with 2 pretty bad matches. So
with the same finish.
Not bad, but I just felt like the matches weren't strong, and they got off to a weak start. So
I agree.
I mean, it's taped. They could just move the matches however they want. So
they don't shoot in order. Yes, they can do that.
Yeah. Sabin, Shelly, and Kushida were backstage, and Sabin challenged Violent by Design to a tag match with him and Kushida. So we're going to get a variation of the Machine Gun Splitters there. Sabin and Kushida taking on Doring and Diener. Alexander walked up and said Shelly was taking him too lightly. Before walking away, Alexander left, and as he walked through the door, Eddie Edwards was there talking to him about Shelly and offering to be there to help him, leaving Alexander with food for thought. So I missed the first part of this, but I actually got to watch the Eddie Edwards and Alexander thing. I thought that was pretty interesting. I believe it's clear that they're heading towards Edwards and Alexander for Bound for Glory.
We called that back in April, I think, if not
Yeah.
earlier. Like about time. I mean, we have nobody else.
Mhm.
We have nobody else who's ready to be a main eventer. So, yeah, bring it on.
Yep, let's do it. And then yeah, we got and Kushida's coming back to Emergence, so that's cool. So
Very cool.
excited about that. Yep. Sam Callahan defeated Raj Singh, just whooped his ass. And then afterwards, Moose's music hits. Macklin comes out pretending to be Moose. Moose attacked Callahan from behind, and then Macklin runs down to the ring, and they beat him up. And then yeah, so that was that. Not really anything too crazy there, but it looks like we're gonna get Macklin and Callahan at Emergence,
which will be fun. Sammy got to do a little more cardio. Looking
yeah. Well, I mean, he broke his leg, right? So
Yep.
it's really hard to do cardio. But you know, just from experience with me, whenever I can't run or I can't work out, I really have to watch my calorie count and my carb count. And so
guilty.
Yeah.
Coming back from this big 2-week coaching excursion and then lumping into the what do you call it, COVID, and then this week I haven't gotten nothing done, you know. And I feel like a big fat sack of shit. I ate some cookies, so I felt I'm projecting onto Sandy. I got to get my fat ass back in the gym.
I think we all do. I have been working out a lot, but my diet has been completely bonkers lately. They got these at the gas station by my house. They got these Lenny and Larry's protein cookies.
I've had those.
And I've been eating like one of those a day because they make it's like that episode of Seinfeld where they're getting the fat-free soft serve, right? You remember that? It turns out it was not fat-free. Well, this thing, it's advertised as being healthy, but then when you actually look at the ingredients, not that healthy for you.
It's
like eating it's just a cookie. They just up the protein count, so it's still not good for you. But I've been eating a lot of those.
Hey man, I just ate a box of gluten-free or double stuffed Oreos today because I could. So I'm feeling the pain. I got a former kid that wrestles for the University of Iowa right now. He's a heavyweight, and he was like, heavyweight, and he was good shape heavyweight in high school. But now that he's at Iowa, he is absolutely jacked out of his mind. I'm like, what'd you do? And he's like, oh, I'm really counting my macronutrients, and I'm really focusing on that. So next week, that's my goal, right? I'm gonna start counting my macros, because when I was counting calories, I noticed a big difference. And because it makes you accountable when you actually have to like write down what you're doing and be accountable. And it goes, do I really need this pizza? So I'm actually going to focus on that, see how that plays out.
Good. Let's all do a Brace for Impact diet. That would be great.
Brace for fitness.
Everybody gets Brace for Fitness. Let's do it. A recap of Kelly or Killer. I almost called her Kelly. Killer
very
Kelly's.
different.
Yeah, very different. Very different quality opponent, a wrestler there. Yeah, she had another vignette. I thought this was probably the better ones that they've aired. And she actually spoke and talked about what she's going to start doing here in Impact. So good stuff from her.
Look good.
Yep. Bullet Club was backstage, and Carl Anderson and Doc Gallows talked about how Gallows was going to send PCO back to the creator. It's a bit excessive for a wrestling match, I think, according to Josiah, the pastor.
Well, he kind of almost did. So, it wasn't like he was that much a hyperbole,
Yeah.
It kind of almost happened.
What an inch to the left or to the right at one point, he probably could have sent him back into the afterlife.
More on that later.
Yeah, Chris Bay and Ace Austin talked about how they were going to ensure Honor No More would be disbanded at Emergence. So there you go. Then we get to the main event, which I thought was awesome. PCO with Vincent. He defeated Doc Gallows. This was a typical plunder match. I have one complaint. I don't care that it was sloppy. I don't care that maybe some stuff might have been a little botched. I don't care that some spots were a little bit slow as they're setting up spots. None of that stuff bothers me. These guys are super heavyweights. PCO's like almost 60 years old, right? The only thing that bothered me was that they exposed the ring boards again. We just did that at Slammiversary. WWE just did that at Hell in a Cell. I think AEW recently did that too. It's like, okay, we get it. We've been doing it a little bit too much lately. I think they need to just put that on the shelf for a little while.
It's a zeitgeist thing, right? You'll see this stuff. And that in this week where we had that, I'm going to praise WWE for a moment. Anyone who tries to tell you that Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar thing was dumb is a person you don't need in your life. That was phenomenal.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah, if
absolutely
you
fantastic.
oh, JD, if I gotta say something to the audience, if you're
Please.
listening to this and you didn't like Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar, poop with your own pants on. Just poop inside your own pants and just sit in it. I don't care. You're wrong. Sorry, go ahead,
That's
Jacob.
a hell of an insult. I'm going to remember it. So I mean, like, I thought, like, boy, I was like, this is the wrong week to have this match, but I really liked it. But I agree with you. I
Yeah.
think that I think that it becomes like these zeitgeist things where people see these things and like, I want to do that too. And I thought the Impact ring looked shittier than the other ring, so that gave it like an element of danger, though.
Well, yeah. Well, it's an OVW ring, most likely. So
It probably was. You're probably right. So, but
Yeah.
when they did the stunt, it made it look a little bit grimier, right? Like a little more dangerous. So I kind of got into it because of that. But yeah, I agree on the whole. Like I say, I'm over plunder, and then they do a plunder match, and I'm always like, that was a fun plunder match. And this was
Yeah,
the
well,
same. This was the same, but I agree. I want to see a moratorium on destroying the ring for the next like year. And that's everybody. I want everybody on
Yeah.
board with it.
Yeah, but again, I really enjoyed it. PCO
Mhm.
pulled a drum set from under the ring and drove Gallows' head through the drum kit. Yeah, Josiah says, "Why was that there?" Well, so that way he could use it, of course. What did Hannafin said? He said, "Holy Nick Cannon, a drum set," making a Drumline reference, which is an awesome movie. If you have not
That
seen
went
that, go
right
watch
over
it.
my head. I was like,
Really?
is he impregnating the drums? I've
No.
never seen Drumline, so I could not
Yeah.
figure that out. I was just like, I'm
Drum
out of touch.
Drumline is a good movie to watch with your son. I
Okay.
will say that. I
Okay.
really, really enjoyed that movie. Gallows is laid out, draped over the apron, but Gallows grabbed PCO by the throat, chokeslammed him through the ring. Gallows demanded the referee count to 10, but PCO set up at 9, and I thought this moment was incredible.
So
Loved that.
I'll give them this. We've seen WWE do the breaking the rings segment many times. The best I still think is always Taz and Bam
Yeah.
Bam, right? The
Yes,
original.
well, 100%.
This might be my new favorite because the ring was destroyed. It
Yeah.
looked so much more, and it sounded so much more dangerous. Not sure how they did it, but kudos to everyone involved because it came off fantastic. Like
It was,
it was
wonderful.
great. It was absolutely great.
Yep. Gallows demanded the referee count to 10, but PCO set up at 9 from the wreckage to a big pop, super babyface. PCO then hit an inverted DDT on the wood before rolling out of the ring, loading up his glove with thumbtacks and hitting a flying fist drop through the thumbtacks. So the only problem with it was that the thumbtacks weren't on his fist. They were inside his palm, so I didn't do anything.
So it hurt him.
Yeah. So it sent Gallows into the hole in the ring, and PCO followed it up and pinned him. So he pinned him while he was in the hole. Josiah says, can't say it was a good match, but it was wildly entertaining. So I correct you. Just hold on. I got to correct you, Josiah. If it's wildly entertaining, then it's a good match.
Yes.
Just because it's not technically proficient,
Yes.
who cares? The only thing that counts as a good match is, did you have some fun? Yes. Well, this was fun, and it was awesome, and I really enjoyed it.
Yes. I would rather see this than like a pure style match where two guys have no personality.
Yeah.
And I guess that's because like I'm an amateur wrestler, so when I see guys doing the quote unquote tactical wrestling thing, when I watch a bunch of things that are just as big a bullshit to me as a Hurricane Rana, like all the spinning hammerlocks and stuff like that, that's bullshit. That's just as fake as a hammerlock. So
Yeah.
For me was I entertained? I'm gonna say something right now. That was the best Doc Gallows match ever.
Yeah, you know what? I heard some folks say that. I do want to remind people about a match that Gallows had with Doring last year.
No,
Very
this was
similar
better.
type plunder match. I do have to say this was better.
This was better.
And that match before didn't actually have a crowd. It was an empty arena thing. So I'm gonna go ahead and say yes, that this is better.
There's no such thing as a good empty arena match unless you're talking about Terry Funk and Jerry Lawler. That was on purpose. Like that whole nothing good came out of that era. We should all forget that it happened. No, this ruled. This was the best I've seen. Gallows. PCO is a damn madman. I loved it. I'm not gonna say it's a 5-star classic, but I mean this was like a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie on a Saturday afternoon.
Yes.
Nothing better to do. Like you're gonna watch some silly action film and be super entertained, laugh at the ridiculousness, and get into it. That's exactly what this was.
This was pro damn wrestling, folks. It was fun.
This was like Memphis-y shit. Like it was great.
Yeah. Yeah, it was stupid. I loved it.
It was. I was so ready to poo-poo this episode, and then PCO and Doc Gallows of all people saved it.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I was like the first couple matches, like, oh my gosh, it's gonna be one of those nights. And then fortunately the Motor City Machine Guns were on tonight, and then we got ultimately saved by PCO and Doc Gallows. So hard to give it a thumbs down of a show, more of a thumbs in the middle for me, just because I thought the first hour was pretty forgettable. But
we're
yeah,
leaning.
the,
We're leaning.
maybe Orange Cassidy.
Orange Cassidy, yes, yeah. I'll give it an Orange Cassidy thumbs up. Just on the last two. Here's the thing though. Impact, if WWE fundamentally changed their promotion this week when they decided we're going to be good.
Yeah.
Right? It's shocking development from everyone. The WWE decided we're going to have good wrestling matches. Impact cannot be a promotion that just gives you good wrestling matches anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, they can't. They got it. They got to do something. And I'm going to go on a tangent, and I'm going to tell you why they won't.
Ooh.
So stay tuned on the Patreon. Stay tuned on the Patreon. JD, plug your Kickstarter, sir, and then we'll head over to the Patreon.
Man, I'm going to tell you about the Red Sunrise Kickstarter one more time. Samurais versus Vampires. Quick, down and dirty, 150-page novella. Ooh, I got another backer while the show was on. We're up to 74 backers. We get up to 100. I'm going to write another book in the world, as I promised, that will be free for everyone that backs it. I've already got this. I got a story in mind. It hit me. I'm really proud of this book. I mean, all the rest of the stuff I've ever written is available. So if you want to buy just the $4 ebook, go for it. You want to get $1 for the original comic? Awesome. Jump right in. If you want to spend $250 and get killed by a vampire in the book yourself, that's an option too. Come on in, having fun. We have 7 more days to nail this campaign and make it something super successful. I love this book. It's one of my favorite things I've ever written. I mean, what don't you love? And I promise you, at the end of the book, you will see the murder of a vampire done in a way that is unique. Never seen it before.
I like it. Well, everybody go check that out. Support JD, support the show. Head over to Fight Game Media Plus. Go to patreon.com/fightgamemedia. Give us $5 a month for tons of extra content and tons of exclusive content. And we're getting ready to talk some breaking news. We're going to talk some Bound for Glory location, Madison Rain. We got Road Dog stuff. We're going to do a little debate. Cool stuff coming up. So if you're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts, check us out over there. If not, Patreon, stick around.